Alright, so this is going to be the first video in my interview series. I have a couple guys from Murphy's Law here, so you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, you got Roman 837.
And you got Jade Tech.
Alright, so I think I'm just going to start out here with a couple questions about your corp. Just a couple generic ones I wrote down the other day. So, when was your corp formed? Let's just start there.
Actually, we are 5 months and 9 days old right now. We formed Murphy's Law.
Okay, before that... Well, okay, because you guys came from escrow, basically, so I'll ask that. How did that work?
So we were in escrow together. I woke up one day and I was CEO of ERA. I was actually on vacation in Myrtle Beach, and Kane Sparrow sent me a message saying he's done with the game and he wants me to be CEO. And I logged on, and obviously I was brand new to that corp because he asked me to join them. And there were two people online. It was Jade Tech and Espeon Bonds. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm your CEO. And they're like, oh, I guess you are. And then we started, obviously I'd never really played with them much. And we started squadding with each other. And then 4 months later, we had a pretty damn powerful corp. And we were, wrecking everyone in PC. And we were doing good. And then I went away on a fishing trip on my boat for 1 week. And when I came back from my week vacation, Espeon organized a mutiny, and here we are. So Jade can probably comment, because he was there during that time frame. So
yeah, it was a definite fallout from the TP wars. Team players, if you know that reference. All the team players, guys, after Chicago Cubs logged off, had to move somewhere or either go offline. So very few of us survived the fallout. But me and Espeon were the ones that stayed behind in Era just for the heck of it. And when Roman became CEO, we just decided to play on. Yeah, it was a good time in Era, but it was going nowhere, honestly. Kane left that corp to die, and I can believe all of you hate him for all the things that he has ever done, Roman including. Yeah, so after that, Espeon asked me, he was going to start a new corp. It was our intent to start a new corp, and it just started to go really south from there. I don't want to call anyone out, and I don't want to take any sides, but yeah, Moolah was a good product of the split after a few weeks of developing the corp.
Yep.
Alright. So, since we're kind of on the topic here, you guys want to talk about your corp history just a little bit? Like where you guys were before, I guess it'd be escrow, since you were both there together?
Yeah, I'll let Jade go first on that one.
Oh, well, for me, I came from very humble beginnings, had a little 6-man corp back in the day. I wasn't really looked at as a prominent, CEO, but I was looked at as the best player in the corporation. Sniper, if you were to believe it. I decided to join up with Razio Rays and his group from in Intrepidus, really. With him and Soja Doja, actually. It was a nice little group. It was doomed to fail because it was like a co-CEO kind of deal, so kind of played out pretty badly. I moved over to R&D with Razio Rays. He went off to go hunt chocobos, and well, I stayed behind in R&D just to have some fun. And then I heard about the unnamed corp that should not be named, but I have to do it. Molden Heath Police Department. My rise to the top. I just joined for a few days. Had some fun. I knew all these guys from, being in R&D, and I knew a lot of the team players and all that. And then, subsequently, it fell apart. I was somewhat upset, and I was disbanded from R&D for the time. And I pleaded with Cubs, and he let me in. Next thing you know, about 3 months in, we decided to start wrecking face and beating everybody up. Got a nice ISK game. And then after that, Cubs went offline. I joined up with Era, farmed ISK for as long as we could, and then Roman came into power. Really, it was kind of like a jump It wasn't really, I wasn't at the top all the time, I wasn't at the bottom all the time, but being up there and team players, I have to say, was my peak. So, yeah.
Yeah, sounds about right. You want to hear about me?
I sure do.
Okay, so this is Roman. So I started out in the glorious STB. I was a 5-day-old character, and I saw a squad of them. I think Sergeant Biggs was one of them, and he just wrecked me in the old Dust Bowl map. And Z-Dog was spamming a tank, and he just kept killing me. And I was getting really mad that this tanker was destroying me, so that's when I tried out the Forge gun, and that's what made me start that. So then I was in STB. I was a no one there for about 2 months, just listening, just being the normal player, new in a corp, new to the game, getting a horrible KDR as a Forge gunner. And then I just we started doing PCs, and I really just was very patient. I sat around. I'd be on standby. They'd bring me in. I'd Quick Gloves would always give guys like the newer players, a lot of ISK, like just to get them into the game. He'd praise them. He'd make them feel real good. And he was really good FC actually at the time. So I have nothing bad to say about that. About 7 months into me being an STB, leadership votes came up, and I had started being in a lot of their PCs, and I started FCing. And being the known FC gave me, I won directorship. I got voted in, and I was a director there for maybe 4.5 months when the whole stuff went down with Quick Gloves and his little one. So he had to step away, and we had after that it was just a divide in power who was going to take over from that. And then that big drama issue happened on the forums, which you can all read about with the ISK. I didn't put up for it, so I called out the reigning guys who were in control. One of them vouched that he had backed me up and I was going to run for CEO, but then he turned on me and I got kicked. So I sat in the middle of nowhere in no corporation for around 3 days when I got a message from JK420, the Dem Dirty Boys, and he's like, "Yo, Roman, come join me, man, because this is where all the guys who left STB went." So I went there, and I was there for about 4 months, and during that time frame I really got big into EVE, and I started helping out the DNS side with Kane Sparrow and DNS Black and MP 2008 while I was in DDB. And then I started talking with Kane and Cody Cole of DDB, and DDB at the time was about starting to go dormant. And Cody Cole convinced me. He's like, "Yo, let's go join ERA," because we all thought Legion was going down. This is the around FanFest time. We thought Legion was going to happen and Dust was going to collapse, and that whoever had the base EVE side was going to go to Legion. And well, Kane told me to join, so I joined with my EVE character, then with my Dust character. And then Cody Cole changed his mind, said he couldn't leave DDB. So instantly now all the guys in DDB were mad at me for leaving them, and now I was in ERA. And then I shit you not, and this is no word of a lie, the moment I joined ERA, Fiddles and Kane launched their mass attack against the Ancient Exiles and Nyan San and all of them. So the guys who I had just been fighting for and with for the entire time thought that I ripped them off by me leaving their corporation, joining the group that then just went to war with them. And then obviously we all know what happened after FanFest, and Kane made a promise to get rid of all the districts, and I honored that at the time, because I didn't know he was backstabbing us all, and I didn't know he had an ulterior motive. So I gave away all the districts in the ERA with Espeon and Jade, and then we had actually I did some heavy recruiting. I brought over almost all the guys I had from STB. Jade brought over his friends. Espeon had a couple of his friends. And we made a pretty powerful corp. And we fought pretty well in ERA for probably 3 months solid, where it was really good. Our team was wrecking face. And then we started getting stomped by OH, and other teams started coming together, and they beat us. And then I left for a week on my fishing trip on my boat. And when I came back, there was a divide, and Espeon, it actually ended up really cordially. He was very polite about it. At the time, he's like, "Yo, Roman, I don't want to be in the corp anymore. I want to form my own, and I'm only going to take 100 million ISK." And I said, "Cool." And then he deleted me from Facebook from our Skype chat, PSN, all that stuff. And then it just from there he formed Bloodlines, and within 2 days, Bloodlines attacked us. And then that war raged on for, what do you think? We reformed and made Murphy's Law, and then our Bloodlines fight probably went on for about 3 months. Jade, do you think that fight went on and off? Yeah, about 3 months solid PCing while we were also getting attacked by everyone else. Then we thought we had a little bit of a break, and then the war started with everyone else. We've been literally in Murphy's Law, other than those, I think, 4 days over Christmas break. I can't think in my mind a night that we haven't had minimum 2 PCs. I can't think. I honestly can't think of them, except for holidays. So we've been a very solid PC corp. We've had some major losses, some major wins, but you know we've come a long way, and no one can doubt that we've been in everybody's face the entire time.
Well, before we go too far, I just want to make a side note that Roman did go on a boat trip for the first 2 weeks of Moolah's forming. So I was kind of like alone putting together these teams against Espeon, but he just kept on attacking us. So, yeah.
They held out well, though. They held out well during that. Espeon kept attacking them, and then I came back, and I was like, you know what, guys? Let's take them on, and we demolished them after that. I think we had like an 8-game winning streak versus them. We knocked them out of the PC for the first time. They got back in. We knocked them out again. They got back in. We knocked them out, and they haven't been back. They disbanded their corp.
Okay. So we just passed like 11 minutes into this video. That was kind of a long spiel you gave there. A couple people might be getting just a little bit bored, so I'm going to ask a little more controversial questions, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
What do you think of LOL Roman's boat? How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I think it's hilarious. Like, I came back, and that was Dust User, I'm pretty sure that started that. I came back, and I forget where I was at. And all of a sudden I get invited to this chat, LOL Roman's boat. And I remember on the forums I made the comment how there's no doubt in my mind that my boat costs more than Espeon's entire village.
Yep.
And I believe that still to this day. So all of a sudden I came back and there was an LOL Roman's boat chat, and it had everybody in it. And then it was during that faction warfare boost, so everyone's like, you know what? Let's take this off. Let's use this as our faction warfare chat. And there you go. I'm honored. It does not bother me whatsoever. I think it's hilarious that there's 3 dozen war room posts or threads about Roman's boat, or Roman's boat sinking and all that shit. So I think it's pretty funny. I'm not even mad about it. I think it's hilarious. So.
Alright. So this might be a little less known to the community. So a little bit ago, or I'd say a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or two, I posted up the captain's log. Which
yeah, that was good.
I talked to you about a little bit. I talked to you about that a little bit before, but like, what did you think of that? Like, how accurate was it?
It was pretty good. It was obviously there's some falsehoods in there and some embellishments, but it was pretty funny. It was pretty funny. The best part was the first mate 8213 was pretty good. I was laughing at that. It was good. It was well written. You definitely have some time in your hands.
Yeah.
Forever alone.
Took me like an hour or two to write. Anyways, I'm not gonna talk about that too much. So yeah, so hopefully we got a couple of people hooked off that. Let's go back to just a little bit more generic questions. So who would you say are the most important people in your corp? Like it feels kind of weird asking that because you don't want to single people out or just disclude people. But I mean, who are the people that got your corp where it is now? Like I mean, you and Jade, you're both here, obviously interviewing. You're both big people in your corp, but you get what I'm trying to ask you?
Yeah, who's like the core members?
Yeah, sure.
We got quite a few actually. We actually have a fairly large corp. We just some of them have been inactive lately. So when we came over from ERA, I think we brought over 42 members. So it's going to be impossible for me to name them all. Mm-hmm. But right now in our leadership positions, it would go myself, then Jade Tech, and then as directors are Retained Destruction. Okay, and then you also got I think we call them junior directors in our corp. You got Tards Are Us. You got Chet Choose, you got Summer Load, you got Sticky Nuts, which is a pretty awesome name, and then you got I'm Just Too Pro, and if they're listening to this, if I forgot one, my bad. So that's our hardcore of our leadership position. But then we have a core group of guys around, I'd say 20 of them that log on every day, and they're great. I love pubbing with them. Like we got Slayers like Cavani and Justin Fly. You put those two together, they don't talk on mic. So it's hilarious. Like, you never know if they're actually going to push an objective, because I'm like, Cavani, go to Charlie. Justin, go to Charlie. And then I'm just waiting to watch the kill feed. And I see Justin Fly kills this guy. Cavani kills this guy. Justin Fly kills this guy. I'm like, sweet. They're actually on that letter, but they don't respond. They're one of those silent slayers like Roner General and Kalante. And then, Destructions really became inactive, but he was a pivotal role in our corporation. Then you got Beast Heavies. Like, we have Senator Snipe. He's one of the best forge gunners in the game. And then even then we got our ADSs. We got Parthok, and then we just got Pro Tanker back. When you put those two little monsters together, they, it's either really good or really bad. Because if they're against you, it's really bad, and they really like to troll. So we've got some pivotal members. Jade, do you have anyone that comes to mind?
Oh, well, not specifically. I've had a lot of good members. Of course, Destruction back in the day was a nice addition. Me and him would always do the Scout Duo and all that. But no, I mean, there's a lot of good people in this corp, and I'm not going to name everybody specifically, but all of them, have their good things, and all of them have their little flaws. And we always try to fix those little flaws. Like when we first brought in Cavani, okay, just want to name him here.
He'll be watching. He'll be watching this.
Yeah, he was totally, like a dog off his leash. He's a good killer. I honestly can say that. He can jump into people's faces with a shotgun and one-hit them. But back in the day, he was hard to control. Like, we tell him to go to Charlie and hack the point, and we see the kills. Oh yeah, but he's way over on Delta. So
yeah.
He was a good killer. But now that he's become accustomed to the corporation, he's able to do his job and more. He's able.
He likes to win. He wants to win. He'll do what it takes to win.
It's nice to have those kind of people. I mean, a lot of people in this corporation. Every corporation has their own flaws and own flawed people. But that's the thing about Moolah that I like is that we take in a lot of people, but they just need to be formed up to where they are able to hold their own and work together with other people and be able to stand together and not actually, crumble under the weight. Of course, we have our good times and bad times, but, we always try and get through it, including Bloodline, how they're whooping us. Those 2 weeks when he was gone, I do not know how we held together. And when Roman came back, we just, pushed out, was able to stomp him. There was a lot of wars following that. I mean, TOP, you have Outer Heaven's Little Return. There was a lot of
Raffle
moments. Yeah, Raffle. I mean, all of them are really powerful corps, and I'm surprised we've gotten so far enough to, be a corporation that can stand up to those guys. And they can stand up to us. I mean, we've been winning a lot. And, it's time for us to settle down and accept the fact that, these corps are getting more powerful. And we're getting more powerful. But, it's fun to watch the fireworks in the sky as my corp, who's grown and diminished throughout the time, has been able to stand through and power through each battle.
Yeah. So. Drama aside, like you always hear, like everyone always trash talks me on the forum, which I don't mind. It's actually part of the game. I love that part of the game. I'm the whole meta player. I've always been deep in the organizing and stuff like that. But no jokes aside, I don't think you can name 10 people that have ever received a hate mail from me. I respond to, if someone sends me a hate mail, I'll respond to it. But even after like a couple matches, I will never send players. I talk to CEOs directly. Like you can ask Q's Town and like Dust User, Cardia, and Shepard. I don't message their players with random drama. Even Espion until he blocked me. I deal with the CEOs, so I'm all about. I take the. You don't see my guys on the forums too much. That's because I deal with all that, and I tell them I'll take it on my shoulders. I'll take everyone's angry mails, all stuff. My guys just want to play, and they're doing. I'm really proud of them, to be honest. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry if we made it too boring for you.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, you're all scrubs. You're all scrubs.
Yeah, no, it's what I'm here for. I'm just trying to get out the word. Just I don't know, trying to do something. Anyways, let's talk about the war, if you can call it a war. I don't know what do you guys call it, but the little couple day thing that just happened.
The skirmish.
Yeah. That's well, I mean, sure.
Right,
anyways,
I'll be really quick about that. So
all
we all know, and you were in the Alliance leadership chat, so you can verify this. Okay, we knew that FA and Capac were fighting amongst each other, and Hawkins said that Zatara allowed it and Shep allowed it. I was always vocal in leadership chat saying I did not support Alliance members fighting each other because I needed their clones to help me fight my wars. I'm not gonna lie. Very selfish. I needed their clones and their players to help me fight wars against non-Alliance members. So it was really dragging away clones and players from me because we'd have multiple fight stack timers against, say, Raffle or whoever, and I'd ask for an FA team or a Capac team, and they couldn't because they were fighting each other. So that ticked me off. I've known Shepherd Gray a very long time. I know a lot of their players. Sergeant Nonek, even though he's trashing me all the time on the forums now, he's one of the original members of this game that I would wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning for and squad with. And we were called the Morning Crew. Is Sergeant Nonek, Senator Snipe, and Sax Rage and myself. Every morning for months straight we'd play. So I know those guys really well. And all of a sudden, I called out. All of a sudden, Sergeant Nonek started ringing against my players because of a little argument he got into with Retain, one of our Eve pilots, about some orbital drama. It was no big deal to me. Okay, I didn't know about it. Then all of a sudden, Nonek showed up in a PC against us. So I sent him a message, don't PC versus us. And all he said back, it was actually not bad. He's like, talk to one of your members. I was like, well, which one? And then I sent her to court mail trying to find out what's going on, and apparently he got an argument with Retained. So all I did was I sent Shepherd Gray a message. I said, yo, your guys are ringing versus me. Don't tell them not to ring versus me. He never responded back. 2 more days go by with no neck in almost every PC versus. And now I'm getting pretty mad, and I'm demanding in leadership chat that Shepherd do something about it, and he never responded. So all of a sudden he was in a private chat with Hawken, and he said that they had a court vote and that they were leaving the Alliance. I was like, yeah, all right, good riddance. And that was after a couple other members were trolling in Alliance chat, which there are some good players in Capac, but they are known to have the biggest trolls. And it's completely true. And that's fine. It's part of the game. It brings out emotions, makes people fight harder. It's awesome. And within, we didn't attack them. So I got some messages saying that we should hit Cap, or we should hit Top, or we should Raffle. No one knew what was going on. The dust hadn't settled yet. All of a sudden, we received 2 attacks from Capac, and so I relaunched 2 more attacks against them. They attacked us like 3 more times, and then the first 2 days of that quotations war or skirmish, we slaughtered them. We absolutely destroyed them. And they can't even deny it. It was pretty bad. We smoked them, and then we were all happy and all that stuff. And I think I launched 1 more attack, and then all of a sudden, you've been under attack. They hit us like 8 times. And I was like, oh god, here it comes. And I tried rallying our Alliance members because FA was getting attacked by them as well. And Molon and a couple of the other Alliance members were getting hit by everyone and their dog outside of this war. And a couple people that said that they're going to fight for us, they never did. I don't want to get into too much drama, but me and Cardi, I won't help Top anymore. So if anyone's available to fight Top, Murphy's Law will probably help you guys because they backstab me, and that's fine. That's part of the game. I mean, well played. As I've been sending them all mails, well played. It's a strategy, and like everyone thinks that I'm all upset about if we get moved out of PC, which we still have 2 districts, by the way. If we get removed from PC, I'm fine with that. It's part of the game. I may trash back on the forums, but I really don't care if we get removed from PC. So the next day of the battles come by. And we won the first one, which we're like, yes. And then after that, it was just people weren't logging on. Cavani had, this is like a bad, horrible excuse, but it's legit. Cavani had 3 days of internet where he couldn't log on, so there goes one of our top slayers. FA's morale got crushed when they got removed from PC, and their players, some of them, 6 of them helped us still. The rest didn't log on. And then we started losing districts. So then what I told the guys, and I made the call, it's me solely, I was like, you know what guys, we'll go into the ones that we can field, but if we don't have the best team online to go into it, there's no point in going in there and losing ISK and letting them think like they are crushing our... Shepherd one time said to go some A team. I was like, yes, that was not an A team. That was whoever was online. So they were good fights, good job on Cap for winning. I mean, and that Yoshi thing, and still to this day, and you can back me up, Yoshi joining them for 1 PC to say that they're Capac, negative. There's never been, and I'll say right now, 16 Capac. I've never beat 16 Murphy's Law. We had one battle ever where it was 16 on 16, and Murphy's won. And then Shep now says that was considered a training match. So I guess that is what the new statement will be if anyone ever beats us on 16 on 16, as I will say that it was a training match. So other than that, they're great fights. They were excellent fights, and we really enjoyed them. And we're not out. Everyone thinks we're out of PC. We're not. We might take a couple days of a break, but we'll be right back in. We're big members of this community. Jade, you got it now?
Well, I have to say, shout out to all those veterans that came in from out of nowhere, out of the forest, and helped Cat back. I have to say, even though Shiyu Hideyoshi joined the Corp somehow, I'm surprised that Cat back got all these guys to, pair up with him. AE veterans, you got,
OH out of nowhere.
A lot of OH, yeah. I'm just surprised, and I'm just glad that they actually got him out of the past and got him back into the game. Other than that, I mean, good war. I wasn't really there for the first few fights, so I kind of only saw the tail end of it. But I accept it. That was a really good PC matches. All those matches were really good, and yeah, they won. Either fair or unfair, they won, and I accept that.
Okay, so I'm not going to try to argue with you on anything. Like, I don't know all the facts. I can't really say anything. I can't say anything. Just for anyone watching, just so you know, I am in Capital Acquisitions. I was on the other side of that war from these guys. Just so everyone knows that. When you were saying that you were just beating us every battle, I just when was that? Because I
the
probably
first day
was
of the
around
actual opening conflict.
Opening what day was that? Like Friday, Saturday? Because I remember
honestly,
the bulk of the battles, or at least the ones I played, were Monday, Tuesday, earlier this week.
It must have been the first day that Shep launched attacks. I stacked them. It's no word of a lie. He sent like 3 attacks, and I looked for his at like 0-200, and I stacked them. Mm-hmm. And then his team came against us, and we smoked. We did smoke them those matches.
Yeah, I can't really. In
fact, we flipped the district, so you could go on the Twitter feeds and see the team that we had fielding our 1 stack was getting crushed by a Raffle team, and we beat the Capac team on. It was a production facility. We flipped the district, and then we went into the 3rd re-up defense that our guys had lost, our alliance members. And Shep, good on him. He told Qstown, I want to go into this fight. I know you've won twice on the cargo hub, but I want to bring my team into that match. And he did, and we smoked him. So I don't know if you were there or not. Were you still in FA at the time? You might still be in FA.
Yeah, I just recently joined Capital Acquisitions again. For people who are listening, it was Saturday, like that puts it at 5 days ago. I was basically in Cap for quite a while. I would play with the guys all the time. Just certain situations. I just stayed in Fatal just for reasons. I was basically in Cap. It was Saturday, so it was like a day, maybe 2 into that conflict, and a bunch of the battles actually I do have recorded. I just need to get them up on YouTube and ready to go and everything. And then I have a whole bunch of battles that everyone can watch if you like, a bunch of PC battles. I have like 20 plus, like 10, 15 are from that war. I had another question or two, but I cannot remember them now, or about the war anyways. So I guess we'll leave it at that.
Jade is single and he is looking.
Oh god. Well, I mean...
Oh, that was your question?
Oh, thanks, Roman. Thanks.
Well, I mean, it was assumed, because he's a... Nice. Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah. Alright, so we can be done talking about that.
I really don't care.
That's good enough for that. Going back to your corp just a little bit, let's end here with maybe a couple fluff questions. What are a couple of the best memories you've had with your corp or your corp mates?
I got a good one. Jade, I'll say one, then you say one. So I got. Oh yeah, good. So let's give you time. So about Christmas time. Yeah, roughly around. It was before New Year's, anyways. Between Christmas and New Year's, I got pretty damn drunk on comms, and I made a bet with everyone. We were gonna Q-Sync dominations against each other, and bring out your best gear. Like people were rocking officer stuff, and if you were on my team, okay, so this guy's in my squad, or if we Q-Synced and you were on both squads were on our team, if you beat me, if you doubled my kills or beat me by, I think it was 500 war points, I gave them like $1 million ISK. And if they were on the other team and they killed me, they got like $1 million ISK or 500,000 ISK or something like that. And I'm not joking, for probably 5.5 hours straight, I just drained my bank account. I mean, they definitely took advantage of my drunkenness. So I was killing them all the time, but they were calling me out, telling each other where I was. It was just an awesome time on comms. And that's actually one of the most fun times we've had, is Q-syncing against each other and being all in the same chat with each other. Because they go so hard to kill me. Like, and I'm a forge gunner, So they know that I like to camp up really high up on towers, and I'll see like 6 drop ships, even blue drop ships, coming to knock me off the tower, so the guys, the little piranhas on the ground, can kill me, so they can all make some ISK. So that was an excellent and a very, very fun time. It brought our corporation together.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, anytime, queuing against each other, if it doesn't get too out of control, it's always a fun time. Like, I love doing
it's so much fun.
It is.
I missed this one. I missed it the other day, but Cavani and Justin apparently were running officer gear, like officer weapons, and they were queue syncing against another squad of our guys using officer stuff, and it was like dozens and dozens of officer weapons just lost to each other in a domination, like complete wasted. Excellent PC gear just gone. So they had. I heard all about it, and they had a great time. So Jade.
I'm just having a blank here. I've been kind of off and on for the past couple of weeks, especially after Christmas. Boy, the best time in this corporation, it has been a while. Back when we had all the original members, I just like classic players, and I like, the players that haven't been here in a while. I mean, I loved Destruction. I loved all the other leaders that we had, Helvira. We had all these different players that came directly out of Era. A lot of them fell out. A lot of them joined Espeon and his little group of Bloodlines. But, I'd have to say that my best time in Moolah, oh boy, there's so many times that I liked, so many times that I disliked, but again, it's, Moolah is a great corp. I'd have to say that the moment that I signed on, and I heard someone say, oh, Espeon joined TOP, was the moment I said, hallelujah, Bloodline is gone! I have to, just the 2 weeks of horror that I had forming the corporation, just, it was horrible. But then that final goal that we had to get rid of Bloodlines, they had it against us too, to get rid of Moolah. And that little war that we had just was so, it was so redeeming to win that little, duel. So, to name any particular event in particular happening in the corp, or, pubbing it out, doing FW, it's all the same to me. It's having fun, having fun with others. But yeah, I think Roman's got the best event in Moolah. Those were the weeks I missed out. Dang it! You didn't even tell me about. I could have gotten so much.
I think I lost 250 million that night. It was.
Yeah, you would have lost another 50 million if I would have.
In suits, in my suits, I lost another 50 million in suits, probably, no doubt. So no, it was good times.
All right.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like some good times. What are your thoughts on the current state of PC? Like, not the meta, not just just the way. How am I?
The mechanics.
Assets. Yeah, both the mechanics and also just the corporations, the drama, just everything like that. But let's do the mechanics first.
So PC, like the actual, it's the most competitive form of playing in the game, and it's a lot of fun. But there has to be, I know, like, we sink a lot of ISK into it. It is a huge ISK sink. And there's not much reward in it, other than, like, we beat you. But as a CEO, I'm looking out for, like, my tax is only 5%. And I turn off the tax when we're not PCing. And it's, it's sad because we lose millions of ISK in the match. And you get a payout of, like, what, 3-4 million? That's if you weren't the ones dying all the time. Like, ADS pilots, if they get shot down twice in the match, there goes their ISK, there goes their bonus. There has to be some incentive to hold land. Like, we had a policy, we didn't want any more than 10 districts. Because there's no point having more than 10 districts. You're just pushing people out of PC. They don't generate ISK. However, I think they need to generate ISK. And removing the quotations passive ISK, it's not passive. The only passiveness included in ISK generation of districts are the people who are not attacking you. They are the passive people in this game. Like Nyan San, yes, their timers are at 1200. But you know what? They came onto our timers and they took those districts and set them there. And when they were making all that ISK on those districts, that's not passive. That's just people choosing, like, it does suck. I've done the 1200 timers many times. It does suck setting your alarm clock. But that's not passive ISK generation. That's you choosing to let them generate ISK, and that goes for everyone. So when we used to own 45 districts, we were making a lot of Boku ISKis, and some people just left our districts online. Never once did we lock them. Like right now, the state of PC is, if you want to make ISK, you farm. That's horrible. That's all horrible. Maybe one or two. If you own 30 districts and you have 2 farms, fine. But having 50 of them or whatever, it's a horrible mechanic that's wasting districts. You should be able to own, if you own a district, it should generate a lot of ISK. And if it becomes under attack, it stops generating ISK. So if you lock your own district, you don't get no ISK. Okay, it generates ISK. And then PCs should still make out ISK for fights, but not nearly as much. The whole goal of the corporation is to own that so that you can... It was awesome. When there were paychecks and wages, you worked for it. You wanted to become a director because you made that extra 5 million ISK a day. You wanted to be on the PC team, on the payroll. You wanted to work your butt off. Now it's, you know what? I won't lose nothing if I'm not in PC, but I'm not going to gain anything. So that is a major mechanic. Is you wanted your corporation to own districts, so it generated ISK, and you wanted to be on that payroll. That was huge competitiveness. People wanted to own districts. Now it's the only reason we attack people is out of boredom, see how their team's doing, or some random beef. There is actual no in-game purpose to owning districts. Jade?
Ditto. No, just, yeah, I did, kind of think at first that the passive ISK was sort of OP in some sorts. How Neon Sun was able to put their timers at that time and just keep on taking districts. And now here's another thing that I have to say, though. They probably bought those districts in some cases. Now, I can't say that for sure. I'm just making a little throwing
they say about assumptions.
Stone out there. But yeah, I mean, they probably bought those districts and then kept on getting more and more, switching them to their timer and getting more and more money from it. I kind of understand Kane's point. I mean, I was close friends with Kane back in the Team Players era,
Bold statement.
era. But yeah, I was kind of close with Cubs, but I was kind of there while they were forming Era, and I knew from the sole intent of Era itself was to farm ISK, was to get in that DNS donut and get as much ISK as possible. And yeah, I was kind of exploiting. But then when Kane turned around and got rid of the passive ISK generation, it was pretty much him saying that, wow, we have been exploiting this for so long. Neon Sun has been exploiting this for so long. Why haven't I thought of this before? And, it might have been a troll, it might have been an AWOX, it might have just been him going crazy. But, it ended that way, and I don't think, they're going to bring that back. But if they have in their right mind, enough intelligence to somehow get that ISK generation back, because these people on this game are running out of ISK. We are in a major depression.
Unless you actively farm.
Yeah, but the actively farming
it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only reason I could think that passive ISK being
Nothing
removed, what kind of action it would have on the community was everybody go broke. I mean, if you want to have a game where they can have fun and earn their money's worth and actually, play with the best gear that they can have and, become a millionaire, it's to bring back that ISK generation.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be as much. It could be 5 million a day. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be much. It's just something. You are fighting for something that could generate something. And that'd be awesome.
Other than that, the only mechanic that I could think of them bringing back or somehow revamping was, the corporate contracts. Back when PC didn't really exist, people just fought against each other. I don't think ringers were actually, a big thing back then. It was just corporations, 16 on 16, dueling it out, seeing if they're better than another corporation. It wasn't about the ISK. It wasn't about beef. It was just about the fun and the setup of these corporations wanting to come together and actually fight each other. PC is nice and all, but without the passive incentive or any other incentive that comes along with it, those corporate contracts would be a very popular addition.
Yep.
I don't know if they'll bring it back or not, but a lot of the things that they had before were very nice.
Or how about just payouts in pubs be more loot, like a more percentage of loot or bigger payouts in pubs? Because if I run Proto and I'm a Proto stomper, I will wear Proto all day long. If I lose 2 suits in a pub match, I'm now losing ISK. And I don't know if any of you have ever been in a pub match versus me, but I always die more than 2 times in a pub match. We're looking more like 8 times in a pub match. As I play to win, my win-loss ratio is more important than my KD, and I like to win matches. And so that's why the ISK generation in pubs should be up there, should be way, way higher. So.
Well, before we take up too much time, let's move on to the story aspect of this, planetary conquest, as they called it. I guess, aggro, the beef, the
drama,
rivalry that
the
a
meta.
lot of these corporations the meta that a lot of these corporations are having. I guess, being upfront, I guess Roman would have the best visual of it. So
It's fun. It's the part of the game that I love the most, is the politics of it. And I've been an organizer for a very long time in this game. It's what I do in real life. And it's just a lot of fun. And forum drama is a lot different than in-game drama. You might see a couple of people chirp each other on the forums, and then we're running DOMs at the exact same time together. And it's all part of the game, because as much as some of us sound like we hate each other, we are trying to motivate our corporations to fight their hardest. And there's a big secret that some of us don't actually hate each other. We're just motivating our corps to fight each other and go to war, because as leaders of these, even though it's a video game, we're providing entertainment to people, and we're kind of taking on the leadership role of doing that. So if my guys hate Capac, they're going to fight that much harder for it, and when we win, they feel that much better. When they lose, they feel that much worse. Or me and Soda will fight on the forums, and then Soda will come in comms with me and Jade, and it'll be like, yo, you got me good with that insult, man. Oh, they're going to love that. And I'm like, yeah, you kind of took it a bit too far. He's like, oh, yeah, whatever, I didn't mean to, but whatever, I'm going with it. So a lot of that stuff is not fake, but it's really embellished just to keep... we don't want this game to die. Let's be realistic. No one, you're playing it, you're doing a video about it. We don't want this game to die. So without CCP creating content, and they are getting better. These last couple updates was a big shocker to me. I'm one of those players that have always been posting, the game's not dead, but it may be dying. You know what I mean? And we are trying to stall that as long as possible so the game can evolve and become what we all want it to be, because we all have a lot of time in this game. And if it was just do we have a PC tonight? I don't know. Who's it against? I don't know. It's against, I think, those guys, Capac. No, we got a beef with them? No, we're just showing up for fun. Well, there's no heart in that. But now if it's, it's those bastards, Cap. You know what they said about us, guys? They said this. Oh, wow, I'm bringing my officer weapon. Let's rape them. And then, it's a war. Guys are excited to log on to this game and do something. And as sad as this is, I know there are a lot of people that will push aside some real life engagements to play this game. And I know a couple of you guys out there have my court mails. I canceled a work meeting yesterday for those PCs yesterday. I canceled it. So I'm lucky I'm my own boss. I'm in the military, but I'm higher up there that I can cancel. I postponed and canceled a work meeting till next week so that I could be in those PCs, because I didn't want my guys to not be in a PC. So, but yeah, so that's the part of the game. I'm very passionate about this game. I don't want it to die, and I'll do whatever it takes to keep it going alive. Even if that means causing some forum drama or some email drama, just to get people more impassioned about it.
No, I definitely... Oh, God. I definitely agree with you on a lot of that. The War Room is... I log on there every day. I look in there, and I'm
Damn right you
really
do.
excited anytime I see a post that's white. It's not gray because I've already clicked on it. Like, or I'll see like 30 notifications in my inbox. I'll get all excited. I get to read through all of them. Maybe possibly respond if I feel like it. Definitely the drama. It keeps a lot of people here. I really like it, and I agree with what you said. The game's definitely not dead. It never died. Well, no, I wouldn't say it ever really died. It definitely got really close to dying. But I don't know. This game's gotten a lot better. There's still so much further it can go. And going back to the PC mechanics a little bit, I mean, sorry, I'm gonna ramble on here for just a moment.
Go ahead.
We could sit here and talk about pacifist or not pacifist. We can talk about it forever. We could talk about how to fix PC, what needs to be done. I believe CCP is working on something at the moment. It was on the roadmap. It's scheduled for about February. A bunch of PC changes. So I'm really hoping something good will come out of that. So I guess we'll have to see what happens there. This video is getting extremely long. We're over 45 minutes at this point. So I think I want to call it for now. If you guys ever want to come back, do another interview, talk about anything, I mean, just doesn't have to be any of this stuff. Whatever you guys want to talk about.
Can we just give one last shout out?
Yeah, go for it.
A shout out to 8213.
Oh, God.
That's all I had to say. I just wanted to take that stab there.
Just have to say, I signed on, saw 8213 gone. I don't know. I had mixed feelings about it. Oh. Whoa.
Alright, so I'll
thanks,
probably have you guys in here for another interview at some point because there's still a bunch of questions I could ask you guys. So anyways, this was Roman837 and Jade Tech, first video in my interview series. I'll get a couple up here pretty soon. If anyone, on the forum, if you see me anyway, if you see me around, just send me a mail or something if you ever want to do one of these interviews. I'll let you know if I can make that happen, and we'll see what we can do. Thanks for being here, guys.